Hi folks, this is Klaus at Top Hydraulics. We have just swapped all the hydraulic cylinders on this CLK, and we came across a common problem that I thought I'd show you what happens and how it can be fixed. So as you know, if you're a CLK owner, when the soft top is up all the way and the rear bow is down, actually the front of the soft top is supposed to be up a little bit, and if you find it flopping down, then you very likely have one or two tension cables broken. When the tension cables are broken, you find the following phenomenon. When you close the top kind of slams onto the windshield, and when you open the top, you have a hard time folding it perfectly into the storage compartment. And that's again because of one or more cables being broken. There's a steel cable that runs under the canvas from the front to the 1, 2, 3rd bow here, which is, and it does that on either side, which is supposed to keep tension on here and keep this front bow up. I'll let go of the cable. There's another one on the other side, and this front bow flips down. Actually, there's a spring-loaded cartridge at the front section of this cable, and that cartridge is attached to the metal here in the first bow that keeps on the tension. And where it breaks again is in the 3rd bow. There's a metal beam here, and this cable goes through a hole in that metal beam in that bow, and it is actually terminated with a piece of metal, just like a bicycle Bowden cable that's supposed to hold it in case. And in this case, that part has come off for whatever reason. It could just be weathering, or it could be that the convertible fluid in the system, that the system had a leak, and that leak caused the top to move too fast, falling down too fast because there was air in the hydraulic system, and then when it fell too fast there was just too much tension on this cable. It's a very common failure that happens a lot, particularly while the hydraulic fluid system is failing. At the same time, a failing hydraulic system can also cause a bad roll bar valve. But we've covered that separately. So, how do we fix this? There's 2 ways to do it. One is buy a new cable from Mercedes, if it's available. And it's not the end of the world, but it's certainly upwards of $100, because again, it's got this spring-loaded cartridge in it. For access to this cable, we undo 4 Phillips screws, and we turn this lever here, and then we get access to an Allen bolt in here, an Allen set screw that we take out. Once the set screw is out, we can pull the front handle and pull the trim, and then we find this spring-loaded cartridge in here that's just attached with a 10mm hex head bolt. Take it out, that relieves tension, and we can then either experiment with refastening this cable in the rear. So we could fashion some screw that tightens up on the end of this cable, or we could shorten this cable because it's weakened in the rear already, and fasten something else a little bit farther up front that then is tied to a loop going around this rear bow. We cannot go very thick on top of this rear bow, or we would risk damaging the canvas. So ideally you get a new cable, but you can be innovative about how you fix this old cable. There's another cable yet that easily breaks, and it's the 2nd cable that guides the movement of the rear bow. It is running from up here to about the middle of the C-pillar, and it is spring-loaded at the end. It simply has a 2-inch long spring that attaches to the rear of this C-pillar, and the way we've witnessed it, the rivet that tied this spring to the rear of the C-pillar had broken, we simply scraped the rivet out of place with a chisel and put a self-tapping screw in there, and that cable is good. So now we're down to replacing this cable and we'll have a perfectly working top again. Hope this helps.